Cyborg delivery, but that's not what we're here for. Rat King!
Look for gaps. Maybe we can slip past.
Into the fray. Alright, well, seeing as I'm just going to be tailing the Rat King for the most part, I suppose it's discussion time. Number one, don't get squashed by tanks. Not really number one, but, you know. So, real talk. I have an idea about what I want to do going forward. Like, idea number one is what I'm essentially calling the one life run. Similar to the low level scav run, where I'll start here in the Scorched Enclave and work my way through the map. The caveat will be I'll be trying to use weapons or weapon types that I don't normally use. For example, I tend to default back to auto rifles or ARs when things get, you know, kind of spicy. So that's number one. Number two will probably be more like low level scav runs. Number three will be rare weapon showcases, or I'll even call it difficult to use weapons, like such as pistols. Or number four might even be a different game.
Too close.
But for the meantime, I'm more leaning towards the one life run. My old man is due for a prestige rank increase, which will basically everything from experience will be documented. And what else? I'm thinking about putting a hard limit on the medical supplies that I bring in with me. Yep, still alive. Because I have an overabundance of medical supplies, which means arguably I could cheese it, which isn't really what I'm looking for. You know, the idea of a challenge run, or something like a run that's meant to be challenging, is to actually have some level of challenge. And if I keep defaulting to, you know, the usual weapons, then, you know, I'm mitigating a certain portion of the challenge. So just to reiterate, alongside selecting different weapons, I'll also be bringing a specified amount of medical supplies into each run. So I won't be able to just, you know, cheese it with, you know, a metric butt ton of medical supplies to get me through any situation. Anyways, back to the video. Alright, well, that's pretty much all the stuff I wanted to discuss openly. As I said with yesterday's video, if anyone has any other ideas, don't be afraid to, you know, post them in the comments. And as such, I'm going to start, you know, looting the area. Wish me luck. I mean, I'm tempted to follow Ratty around, but it's not really necessary. Oh, hello. Exo. There was one more idea I had, which I do touch on a bit later on in the video, but I figured bringing it up now while it's still kind of fresh in people's minds will probably be the best way to go about it. This will be a bit more of an undertaking on my part, namely telling my own story through the Forever Winter. Everything from I won't be able to do voice acting so much as, because like, I can't mimic the old man's voice, for example. I can't mimic, Scav Girl's voice, for example. And I sure as hell can't mimic Gunhead's voice. But, trying to tell my own story, which is a skill set I haven't used in what would be close to like 2 decades, maybe even longer. So, yeah, that would be the 5th option. Anyways, that should be all from me for now. That point will be touched on again a bit later on. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video. These are the moments where part of me is tempted to help Ratty out. The other part of me is like, I wonder if the exopilot will be left alive. What I heard in different neck. Well, there goes the exo. Good job, Ratty. I'm so used to playing the Shaman where it like damn near instant. P90. Fire bad. Fire bad. Not really what I'm looking for. I was hoping the exopilot would live. Exopilot, you in there? Hey bud. Don't step on me. I want to live. Hey man, we're friendly, aren't we? Just gonna pretty much loot everything as I go. Not super worried about the specifics.
Pocketing this for sure.
And obviously because I'm getting slowly burnt to a crisp here. Not ideal to be hanging around. Alright, well, so far so good. Where'd Ratty get off to? Oh, there he is. Geez, they move pretty quick. Enough of interest there. Excuse me. What have we got? P90. Don't need explosives currently. Nothing of interest. Oh. And once again I turned into the Invisible Man, but it seems like that's an old man issue, because I haven't had that even once on the Masked Man or the Shaman. So I'd be curious as to what that is, like whether I should pick a different skin. Oh, that's the other thing. With the one life run, I'll be trying to, with it being one life, I'll be trying to stick to like one specific skin, so I can minimize any chances for
Work our way through.
like people disagreeing with the authenticity of the video, like using the honor system essentially, where like, I'm not off a cheese yet. I show just about every death I experience in this game, whether they're funny or not. But yeah, just because if I'm doing something honor based like a one life run, then I want it to be consistent and honest. What I mean by documenting is, and why I brought up the prestige rank earlier on, is I'll prestige up, starting with 0 experience, and all the experience gained during the one life run will be documented. The other thing that I'll be doing, I won't be including how many meds I'm using so much, because there's no guarantee that I'm not gonna, use a different character to just get to play some general play. But say, as far as weapons are concerned, I will be trying to use one specific set of weapons the entire time. It's probably going to be something like the SVD and, maybe a pistol. Anyways, that should be the last of my interjections. Onwards. Let's see. Just want to see if there's a lockbox or a loot storage container over here. Pretty sure that's just the meds, which I've already opened. Cool. Onwards. What else? There's one thing I'm half tempted to look into is it is a mod, but it's just like a free aim mod if free aim mods exist. Just because being able to see the front of the scav or a scav just for a little bit more of like a personal interface should hopefully go a long way. Like, I wanted to do something similar with the shaman, but realized pretty quickly that I couldn't do it, at least not the way that I wanted to. So, yeah. There's always something. Ratty's still going strong.
No wind fight ahead.
There we go. That's another quest done. Getting the Rat King debris under current circumstances shouldn't be too hard, considering I've already got 22 out of the 25. The tricky bit is not getting stepped on. The other bit that's kind of up for contention is screen resolution, where I tend to play at a lower screen resolution to try to maximize frame rate. But admittedly, it's not as ideal as I'd like it to be. It's a weird spot for the gacha to be, right in the middle of the open. No, didn't need that. Oh well.
More to carry back.
You having a moment there, bud? PP-19, don't need that. Any leftover Rat King debris? Not particularly. Like, there is one more style of video that I've been very tempted to look into, but it would be utilizing a skill that I haven't touched on in like many years. Namely, like a more story-driven style of video. But not only writing my own story, but like I'd have to, get rid of. Have to get rid of that, like the character voice lines. It'd just be my voice. For obvious reasons, I probably can't do that much in the way of voice acting. Like, I just haven't practiced it enough. Every now and then I'll make some weird voices or throw in some weird accents, but that's just me being a goofball. Who or what can see me? Yeah, it's pretty much all I need for now. Oh, there's another exo. Hopefully the Rat King does a pretty good job of finishing that thing off. I did bring some drills with me in case he does die, but Ratty versus Exo, Ratty wins. What is it? King debris. Looked at. I ain't getting close to him just yet because I end up being accidentally stepped on. Or intentionally stepped on, for that matter. Put this one in my bag and I guess I'll make a move on. Alright. The other option, which is something I'm not super keen on, but it would increase the difficulty substantially, would be a HUDless run, like start playing HUDless, because while my video's visual acuity isn't that great, having the HUD would give the videos a more, like a dynamic experience. But there is another YouTuber out there that does that specific style of video, and well, I can see the difficulties of trying to do it that way. Anyways, that's all from me for now. I hope you have a good day.